Hey guys, this is Locke. This is my video on how to counter Lapis in slot 8. So first of all, I'm going to go over why Lapis is very good. Her attack, or her skill I guess, attacks all the units in a row and grants a portion of the damage she does as a shield. This means that 4v1, she might still be able to win 4v1 fights. So if your opponent is winning the whole match and at the end you have Lapis left, you can actually defeat your opponent using only Lapis if the opponent has no way of dealing with it. I've seen Lapis to be quite common in the slot 8 of the battle, and she has carried a lot of games for me as well. However, as a person that primarily uses Lapis in slot 8, there are quite a few things that can actually beat Lapis. So I see a lot of people complaining about slot 8 Lapis, so I thought I would make a video on how to beat slot 8 Lapis. So let's first start with some of the units. So first of all, any unit that can stun has a advantage over slot 8 Lapis. I will go over how Lapis players are playing against that, but first of all I want to explain the first solution. So you can stun Lapis. So for example, you can use somebody like Jean. You can use her in slot 8 or slot 6, anywhere on the back line, so that when Lapis tries to use her attack, you stun Lapis. If she gets stunned, she doesn't get a chance to attack, and she doesn't get a shield, so you can defeat her. So you can use Jean. You can use, for example, Thrain, wherever he is. I am looking for my Thrain. Oh, here he is. Yep. So Thrain has quite a high chance to stun as well because he attacks multiple times. You can also even use fire units, although it's a bit of a gamble because you can get a glancing hit and miss the stun, but it is, in a pinch, like it might work. You might get lucky and end up stunning her. You can also use spells as well. You can use spells like Chain of Despair to stun. You can use Fireball to stun. So these are all ways you can, if you stun Lapis and she doesn't get the shield off, then she can't attack to gain her shield, so you'll be able to defeat her before that stun wears off. You can also use this skill as well, Weakness Found, which prevents her from getting any beneficial effects, including shield. So if you cast this on her, she does less damage, and she is not able to get her shield back. So these are all effective ways to deal with Lapis. However, Lapis players have started responding to it by using Giant Warrior. As you can see, it's my highest level spell because I'm using it a lot. And what this does is it prevents Lapis from getting disabled, including stunned. See, as you can see, it is immune to harmful effects. So you cannot stun my Lapis. Her HP does go down continuously while she's under its effect, but because of the shield, she's able to negate the negative effect of Giant Warrior. So with this in mind, now the solutions that you had before might not work on her anymore. Like if you use Jean to try to stun her, she will not be getting stunned anymore because she's immune to stun, so she will still be able to use the shield. So what do you do against a Lapis, a slot 8 Lapis that has Giant Warrior? There are still quite a few solutions to beat that. So Jean actually still works, especially if Jean is slot 8 against a Lapis slot 8. To make things fair, let's assume that both of them are 100% HP. So with Jean, you start using the stun, her skill, the stun skill, and Lapis responds with the Giant Warrior so that she doesn't get stunned. Okay, so now your stun doesn't work, but you still recover 25% of your HP every time you attack. And you also get Prayer Protection, which gives you an invincibility skill every few casts. But the primarily reason you continuously keep using it, even if she doesn't get stunned, is the 25% HP, because most of the time a Lapis will not be able to do 25% of your HP. So if it's like a 4v1 fight or something, then it might be a little bit different because she'll be attacking all four of you. But if it's a one-on-one fight against Jean will still win just because she can do 25%. She can heal 25% of her health, and Lapis's shield is not 25% of her health, and it's also she will also not be hitting Jean for 25%. So eventually, you'll keep doing this while her Giant Warrior is under effect, and when it wears off, which it eventually will, you can stun her again and you can easily win the match. So Jean is a very good counter against Lapis for that reason. Sophia is also a pretty good counter, because she just does so much damage. Usually, two hits from Sophia is enough to kill Lapis, and she also has that Death Down debuff as well. So if you like, make if you have a unit like Sophia in the back line, even while she's using her shield, you probably will be able to take her down, even if she's like hitting all four of you and taking health back, even under the effects of Giant Warrior, because it's happened to me. Like I'm only telling you after what I've played against and the things that I've lost. So Sophia backline is also a huge problem for Jean. Sorry, not for Jean, for Lapis. But there are quite a few skills that really help with it as well. One of the skills is Blood Curtain. So if all of your units in the back line now have a huge shield, Lapis will not be getting any more shield herself. The reason for that is because she only gets a shield proportionate to the amount of damage she does. If the damage she does is taking away a part of your shield, that's 0 actual damage. Therefore, she will not be gaining her shield. And if she doesn't gain her shield, you can easily kill her, because that's her main thing. She attacks all four and she gets a percent of your shield so that she can stay alive longer. Put Blood Curtain up, and even with the Giant Warrior, there's nothing she can do. So if I, as a Lapis player, am going to use Giant Warrior and Lapis to beat you, you should have something, a spell at the end too, to protect yourself, right? So I think this is a good spell. Like, I think it's unfair for me to compare Lapis plus Giant Warrior against one unit by itself. So I should probably also give you a spell choice. I think that's pretty good, right? So let's go over it. So this is one thing you can use, Blood Curtain. Another thing you can use, as I said, is Jean. Another thing you can use that people don't sometimes realize is just auto attacking, because the thing is, when Lapis attacks, she uses her shield to get damage back, right? And if you attack after her shield is cast, the damage that you do reduces her shield amount by a bit, because especially if it's like 4v1 and she has such a huge shield. But if you are auto attacking and you're waiting for her to cast a shield, the moment she casts a shield, it's a pretty long animation. So the moment she casts a shield, if you attack with your highest attack unit, that's going to do a lot of damage, more than the shield amount. So she uses her shield. So she starts casting a shield. You attack with whatever you have. If you have Sophia, you can probably easily win that fight. But assuming you don't have Sophia, suppose you have somebody like him, because he is quite a high damage. Sorry, not high. A unit that you see often in the back line in slot 8. So suppose you attack with him. So you'll be getting a portion of your HP for yourself and another unit, and you'll be doing damage before her shield goes off. There was a fight where it was 2v1 and I only had Lapis left, and my opponent had Sophia and a fire unit. So I said, you know what, maybe I'll be able to do enough damage that I can heal enough with my shield than the damage that Sophia would do. So I tried. So I tried to attack. I used my shield. Sophia obviously countered and used her skill. And overall, the amount of shield that I got was way less than the damage that Sophia would do. So at that point, I should have lost that fight, but I didn't. The reason was, so I said, okay, there's nothing I can do. If I attack, Sophia's just going to use her skill and counter. So I lost. So I was just waiting to see, maybe he might use a skill, and if he does, maybe I can counter. So that's what happened. I waited for about like 3-4 seconds, and he didn't use a skill. So I said, okay, I probably lost. And suddenly he used a skill with Sophia. The moment he did that, I used my shield skill, and I actually had enough damage because I had a crit. I critted Sophia and the opponent's fire unit and won. So I should have lost that fight because at that point all you had to do is auto attack. If I tried to attack with Lapis' skill, just use the skill yourself to counter. Because that's really how she wins, right? If you counter, then you're able to damage her before she gets some of her shield. But there are other units that are inherently just advantageous to Lapis. One of them that I see quite often is Soha, because she can steal the shield. And this is not only at the end where Lapis becomes a huge threat, like especially like in a 4v1 situation. If you have Soha in your team, at any point in the fight, if ever Lapis, like say in the very beginning, Lapis uses her first skill and uses a shield, Soha can shield that shield and give it to all the units on your team, turning the fight incredibly in your favor. So that is like more than a huge counter to Lapis. Another unit that I'm starting to see more and more of is Artamyl. So Artamyl can remove buffs when he attacks. So if it's down 4v1 or 1v1, whatever, and you have Artamyl in whatever slots remaining against the Lapis, if he uses the shield, that's fine. But when you're attacking back, you will first remove the shield and then attack. So you will win that fight. There isn't much you can do after that. So just make sure if you're using units like this that you give them higher accuracy, because that's the point, right? Like you want them to remove their shield. That's the point, that like that's what you're trying to counter. And because of that, I have been playing around with Lapis builds to give her higher resistances. And sometimes it works. Like sometimes opponents miss when they're using the shield steal skill or the shield like negation, like Artamyl skill, because I have higher resistance. I don't in this build right now, but I have played around with that. And really, like if I'm doing that, you should give yourself like higher accuracy runes, because that's what you're trying to do. So you should focus on that instead of doing something like I've seen people using Soha with like energy runes, and sure, okay, she lasts longer, and I guess she has a higher like base HP, but like what if she misses, right? I mean, what you really want, and like as you can see for me, I've given her focus runes to get her accuracy up to 32%, because that's what I really want her to do here. And my Artamyl, I've given him resistance runes because I was doing something else with him before. I wasn't trying to counter Lapis. I had some other plan for that. So I think I was using him as a resistance tank in like slot 2 or 3. But if you want him to be the one to counter Lapis, what you really need to do is to give him accuracy runes. Anyway, I hope that helped. Those are a few ideas to beat her. And I mean, I've lost to her several times. I mean, I've lost using her against other opponents using all these tactics. But I've still seen a lot of people complain about how she's so unbeatable and how it's hard to beat her. So I thought I would make this video and give you guys some ideas on how to counter my slot 8 Lapis. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, guys.